Hello and welcome. Another Sunday morning live stream. How's everyone doing today? Let's see, we got Damien, Alf, Synops, Pliny, Artist Circle, Johnny, Pears here. Welcome everyone. Yes, today is the start of the public live streams. I was kind of 50-50 on whether we should finish up the month doing Patreon only, but I made the announcement. I said all are public from here on out. So I figured I should lean into that. Chris, welcome. I will say I'm gonna vent a little bit if that's fine. I really hate the software I use for the streaming and recording and all this. It is exceptionally powerful. I love it. It's called OBS. I think it stands for Open Broadcast Software. But it is such a pain at sometimes, and I just want to let everyone know there might be some hiccups along the way today. I had to make a last minute change. I have a backup uh, portable version of OPS. It's like, I think it's a version and a half behind, but it's stable. Like, it works. Everything in it, it works. It's my backup version. And that's what I've had to go to right now. And I had to do a bunch of really hasty copy pastes in order to get some of the changes I've made into it. And I don't know how much of it is going to work. So that's where we're at today. Oh, Frank, welcome. Dr. Fritz, welcome. Aphex Twin released a new EP a few days ago. That's good to know. That is good to know, actually. Aphex Twin. Make a little note of that. Bring on the jank. Yeah, that's very likely what today's going to be. It's very janky. You may have noticed that I had mentioned there was going to be music, and there wasn't. I was trying to. I didn't have time to finish up the track, and I didn't want to release it in a half-finished state. So what I was going to do is improvise this morning, and for the life of me, I could not get the VST plugin that I use to take my Reaper input and put it into OBS. It just wouldn't work this morning. I warmed up at 9 this morning practicing an E major jazzy scale progression on keyboard. Keyboard's not my strongest instrument, but I warmed up on it. I was practicing. I had this nice solo. There was a underlying backing track that I found on YouTube, and I was going to do that for it. And then I just couldn't get what I was playing into OBS. It was so frustrating. And then OBS didn't work on me entirely, so it has been a morning. And I've only been awake for 2 hours. So I'm ready to listen to music. I'm going to calm down, chill out. We got some cool stuff ahead of us. I'm really excited to get into this. Machine Head and PMF. Did I miss? Oh, not many band names I recognize, just those two. Completely forgot last week's stream. Yeah, last week's stream, I think I should have announced it a little bit better. I do recall it was a bit sparse on the viewers, sparser than usual, that is. So that might have been on me. All right, let's dive into this. Something to look forward to next month. Yeah, I'll definitely have something prepared next week, whether it is improv or getting that track finished. I want to finish a few of them and then just allow OBS to cycle through them on like a playlist. That'd be real swell. Bertle, welcome. All right, so kicking it off, I originally thought these two tracks were connected somehow, and I don't know where I got that idea from. They're not. So I'm making a small exception today simply because there's no time to correct it. We're looking at two distinct separate tracks from Tortoise. I think this one came from Isakov. I wanted to get Tortoise on the channel for a while, mostly for the rhythm section. The drum and bass setup is one of a kind. They're fundamentally post-rock, but not picky about it. They swap instruments, so So much they're more of a music club than a band. Either way, great music to get lost in. So, we're going to start off with a track called... Oh yes, Swing? Oh no, it's Swing from the Gutters. Mistyped it. Dang. Well, that's going to be up there for the whole stream. My interest has been piqued. Yes, it sounds very interesting. All right, we got that down. We got that down there now. Oh, man. All right, and then we're going to look at a short, less than 4 minutes follow-up called The Equator. So, let's dive into this and see what's going on. Oh, I missed that. Bring out the horn. I should have thought about that. My mic's right here. Interesting to see the drummers passing off. Yeah, they're taking like 16 bars each. See, that's really nice. The full tom roll with a ghost note snare roll underneath it. One of those things that you really need more than 2 limbs to get off. Yeah, it's a very sparse composition. No smile. Yeah, everyone's concentrating real hard on this. I know I'm probably listening to it wrong, but I am waiting for it to happen. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Yeah, the drums are positioned two different ways. You can really hear how the two of them are playing around each other's rhythms. I love the avant-garde horn work. Man. How did they do that? For everyone to stay in their lane during that transition was wild. There were so many polymetric ideas going on. Where are we at? Where do we go to? Okay. Yeah. Dude's really getting into the tambourine too. Love that instrument. Tambourine time. I love the production on this. It has that nice live energy to it, but it's so intricately mixed as well that it almost feels studio. I feel it's not getting anywhere. Alright. And the second part of this is the Equator. Oh, they switched instruments. I know Azzy had stated that, but I wasn't expecting it for some reason. Oh, we got yeah, electric drums. Oh, there's a beautiful marimba there. They got steel bells off on the right too. Doesn't look like we'll be getting either of those in these songs, but morning RTQ, welcome. Prog Lounge. I will say that it's very chill for all of the complexity in it. There's a strong laid back element. Dang, second tambourine. Yeah, there's so much presence on the tambourine. I mean, just going back to the production again. Oh, we got slide guitar back there? For some reason, I thought that was the synth doing all that. Space cowboy vibes? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I'm also a huge fan of the set production here, having completely changed the lighting of the stage for this track compared to the last one. All right. Yeah, I can't help but wonder when we listen to jam stuff like this, when are we going to get to the thing? And of course, there is no the thing that comes after because the jam itself is the focus of this type of music, and it's so difficult for me to get into that. Um, because it's music for the sake of music. It has a point. It certainly has an atmosphere and a vibe to it, but it achieves that through oddities that I have a difficult time reading. Um, I think casually, like if I just saw this live, actually, I think live is how this would work for me. Much like a lot of jazz, there's something about seeing stuff like this in person. I think, and having the experience of being in the setting that would really elevate my experience with it. It's fun to play but not listen to. That's me exactly. Like I can sit and jam and noodle for hours. I love just noodling around with people, right? Just having a little jam session. But jam music is something I'm usually not a big fan of. It's music for the musicians is usually what I call it. Um, Performance felt well coordinated but kind of sterile. And see, that is what impresses me. This track, not so much because it was a bit more laid back, but the previous one was exceptionally complex. And from a performance perspective, I'm enamored with it. Like some of the polyrhythmic and polymetric ideas, especially between our two drummers, that wild tempo change, time field change. I don't even know what it was near the end. Um, Everybody was just staying in their lane and not like listening to somebody else and falling into theirs. Like it is so tough to do that when it's just one level of polymeter, but when there's so many interconnected ideas going on, it's so easy to just line up with somebody else and for them to just effortlessly pull that off. It's fascinating. I love watching some of this stuff from the perspective of a musician and wondering, would I be able to do that? Because that takes a lot of mental navigation, you know. It's like, patting your head and rubbing your stomach, but doing it with like five limbs and keeping all of them, uh, you know, uniquely moving or whatever. I don't know, the analogy fell apart there, but I hope you understand where I was going with that. Um, yeah, it's just it's mind-boggling to think about pulling it off, the logistics of it. And then the fact that everybody seems to play multiple instruments. I think we only saw 2 people shift instruments here, but there are a ton of instruments along the sides that we didn't get to see played. There's a guitar sitting in the back. Although I think that's the bass, and I think that bassist ended up playing the keyboards there. But yeah, it's a very what's the word I want? I don't know. Virtuosic band. Everybody in it is just at the top of their fields in a musician performance level, and the composition is interesting. I'm going to say the composition is well done as well. It doesn't pull me in as much as the performance itself does. All right, so next up we have Johnny Booth. This one was requested from Christopher. Absolutely no context. We're just going to dive straight in, not really knowing what's going on with this one. And let's hit it. Another music video. I'm going to try my luck. Ooh, that sub bass. Try my luck with this. Now I have the feeling things are going to change in a second, but it's been a nice chill stream up until this point. Oh, real fun drum idea there. You got the synths in the back of that metalcore style guitar work. Four repetitions in that verse, and all of them had a hard break in them. Definitely more chill than the previous track. Improved by the metal. Dang, straight to a breakdown for a second verse. I'm curious what these ambient breaks are supposed to mean in the larger narrative. Well, at least this one is going somewhere. Last time we came into it and left pretty quickly. Is this fairly new? 2 months ago. Yep. Hey, Vishal, welcome. The synth work in the background is really nice here. Yeah, so a nice little post-hardcore rhapsody there. Has some metalcore style breakdowns, harsh vocals, clean vocals, and every section is new. I was kind of surprised our second verse took us to a breakdown, but after that we had our ambient, chill, laid-back C section that took us to a heavier breakdown D. I don't think we came back to what I thought was the verse at all. Just constantly pushing forward in that. It's an interesting combination of sounds that I think works well, creating contrast, but I was kind of wanting a middle point, possibly. Something between the heavy riffage and screams and the ambient electronic work. And that one, what I thought was the chorus, kind of bleeds into that a little bit with chord-based guitar work and the clean vocals, but it still felt just a hair bit too close to the heavier stuff. And I found both of them sort of lacking a melodic element, both sides lacking a melodic element that I think the song, I don't want to say that it needs, but I would have liked from it. However, as far as the experimentation of the sound, I think they did really well on it. Both the metalcore sections and the electronic sections were both very well done. And actually, the electronic sections, I think they pulled off quite a bit better than I was expecting. I don't know if they sourced that from outside the band or if somebody within the band does a good deal with electronic work, but that was quite a bit more than I would expect from a typical just heavy band. So that was kind of neat. But overall, it's lacking a cohesion that I think I would want out of it. The ambient parts sort of come out of nowhere and never smoothly lean back into what they were doing. It's not even just a transition, it's just not connected to it musically. So another one that I think I'd enjoy a lot more casually, simply because I could ignore the things that I tend to focus on when I'm analyzing music. All right. Next up, we got some NNAMDi. Am I pronouncing that correctly? This one comes from Robotin. Picking something a bit different this month, at least for me. NNAMDi is mostly progressive hip-hop, not something I listen to, I guess, but really mixes a lot of different genres. He's linked to my pick for Monobody, which I think was last month's pick. Interestingly, he apparently plays everything himself on this song and record, which is pretty cool. Now, hip-hop isn't something we get a lot of. Progressive hip-hop we get even less of. And a hip-hop artist who plays all of their own instruments is fairly rare as far as my experience goes with the genre. I gotta take this text message real quick. All right. So we got some NNAMDi ahead of us. Hey, this is, oh, audio, okay. Definitely worked for me, but won't make the list. NNAMDi's the Party Gator Purgatory album we did in the... What an album name. I think that's all I've heard, though. All right. So let's dive into this. Let me fix the audio quick. See what's going on with NNAMDi.
Cheeks, they drop it off cake. I'll meet you for weeks. Too bad I laugh at the baddest. No baggage, imagine clear ceilings too.
I love those slides.
A couch for blue satin splashed into grass. Was that with the crowd? I can't pick it up, so sick of the girl. Show me something I care, put my finger up there. Who's that with the crown? There ain't nothing I can't do. All I've been through, coming upstairs. When I get my advance, I'm hitting that dance move.
Okay. Some really fun distortion on those vocals.
I traded to see rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me. Crash test, I'm broken on 2 places.
Okay.
Ask for help to tie the shoelace. Trash talk, ask me if I'm right or who waves. Might be too late, might be bootleg.
Yeah. Deadpool cable domino.
Sweeter than the average Kool-Aid. Hotel hanging, looking down for 2 days. Cost a few faces, turned a few shades.
Wow. Kind of going like a Queen idea.
All of the days good the same.
Strong prog harmonies.
You don't know this, head down. Turn around, don't turn around. It's all of the nations.
He's the drummer of Monobot. Okay.
Notice, head down. Turn around, don't turn around, don't.
I'm gonna pull this off to the side. I don't quite know what to make of it yet, but I'm very intrigued. And this is fairly new too, right? This video was from a few months ago. Looks like a 2022 album. Get that drumming spotlight in. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. The novelty of this is it's a huge draw for me. That what's around the corner feeling. But it's a combination of a lot of sounds that I think are still unique, even without the gimmick of having a lot of different concepts individually present. But yeah, I mean, the surprise coming off with the sparse hip hop drumming and the heavily doctored vocal chorus that we kick off the song with, moving from that into pretty much anything else was going to be surprising, but especially the guitar work that we ended up hearing, and also a lot of the prog rock influence we got in that last minute or so. And see, this is one of those times where typically I would walk away from this thinking it's a bit disjointed, and it certainly is. And the ideas do flow together in a sense. There aren't any harsh transitions, but the sounds do start and stop. Our timbres immediately shift from bar to bar. The ideas are very loosely tied together, and each section can feel very distinct from the one before it and the one after it, but because it is so surprising, I tend to forget all that. And I walk away from it interested in what else they're going to be doing. I agree, though. It might not be something that I re-listen to. I might get through the album and feel like I've had enough and never check out another one. But I do feel like I need to listen to at least an album of this just to see what this person's up to, because they have a lot of influences and they can take their compositions in so many different directions. And I'm curious what they're going to do with all of that, shall we say, power. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting on that one. Wouldn't normally be something I listen to, but Sweets Petites says they love Deadpool. I'm gonna talk about this for just you guys know I get derailed. We're gonna talk about Deadpool for a second. I am an old school Deadpool fan, but interestingly enough, the PG-13 style of Deadpool. So, oh no. um, I like Deadpool in kid shows. His presence in Ultimate Spider-Man from the 2015 animated run, 2016 animated run, was awesome. I love his appearance in the X-Men Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance games. Um, and my favorite comic run of Deadpool is Deadpool and Cable, which, the original run, not the second run that came out in like 2013, 2014. I don't know, that didn't catch my attention. But anyways, it's the same wacky antics, just with less of the crassness. And that's the side of Deadpool that I tend to prefer. Now, I did enjoy the movies. They are a bit crass, there's some toilet humor in them. But I thought it was balanced well with the wackiness. But I'm not a big fan of the environment that Deadpool has created with fans. How he's become this person who doesn't care about social standards and will say whatever he wants because there's nothing off limits for him. And that's sort of what some of his writing in the comics has shifted to as well. And I'm not a big fan of where he's been taken. It's kind of a shame. But I do love me some old school comic runs of his. 4-hour live stream, here it comes. No, that's it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I tell enough people it, so I'm not going to go into a huge spiel, but it is something that I do feel a bit strongly about. No, I'm just, man, modern Deadpool is in a weird place. Not normally a fan of autotune vocals either, but it wasn't heavily used and wasn't a vocal heavy song either. Yeah, that's it for now. Yeah, someone just needs to bring up a topic that I'm passionate about, and well, there goes the 2-hour mark, which we're probably going to miss anyways, because we got 11 songs here with the equivalent of 11 and a half, which is already a little over our 10, so. All right, moving forward, we got some Machine Head, and I think I know this band, but maybe all I know is the song from somebody else, Bush maybe, called Machine Head? And so maybe I don't know who Machine Head is. So we're going to find out. This one comes at us from Solinari. Machine Head's left unfinished. You don't hear a lot of songs on this topic. I was thinking of the song by Bush too. Okay, so I wasn't alone in that. That's the first thing that pops up in my head when I hear this band name. All right. Let's find out what Machine Head is doing in Left Unfinished. I was looking it up on Spotify. Glockenspiel. I don't know why. Metal grunts and shouts and stuff, they always get me. It's went in a very new metal direction that I wasn't expecting. Oh, I like those harmonies. Interesting rhythmic choices here. Yeah, I could listen to this. It's like a little bit of Saliva and Corn. A little bit of Godsmack all mixed together. With just a dash of some heavy metal. Oh, it was a music box. That was the bells I called earlier. Yeah, I had the lyrics pulled up. I was going to talk about them in a second, given the comment. Yeah, there's a lot of angst in that song, but I think it makes perfect sense with the lyrics. Why does that comment make perfect sense to me? Why would this fit in Warrior Within? Man. Harmonies are a bit off, but pretty good. I think there's something about the harmonies. They are, they're not perfect, but there's something about this style of music. Yeah, maybe it's the atmosphere of the music, not necessarily the genre, but the raw angst of it that I think the slight tonality issues actually amplifies the message, because there's dissonance that comes through the harmony that I think matches the intensity of the track. But it might also just be that I like this kind of music, so I tend to overlook the flaws a little more than genres that don't work as well for me. Yes, so man, why can't it wasn't Einonzer. Who did the Warrior Within soundtrack? But they did use some of Godsmack's, I think it was just solely on guitar. that was present, working alongside. Why can't I find this? This is kind of irritating me. The whole soundtrack was Godsmack. That is not correct. Because I have this album. And it was written by Stuart Chatwood. Yes. Why do I know that name though? Oh no, Einon Zur. Yeah, Einon Zur composed 6 tracks on it, so I was right about that. Stuart Chatwood did the rest of it though, and I know him for other soundtrack works, and what would they be? Oh yeah, he's from the Tea Party. Not soundtrack works. But he also did do a lot of soundtrack work, including Darkest Dungeon. Dang, he did all the Prince of Persia stuff after Ubisoft got a hold of it. Whoa, okay, so I have played Dark Messiah like 4 times, and I don't remember any heavy metal in it. Certainly not from Trivium. I gotta go play that again then. Oh, so yeah, that's all Stuart Chatwood's done. He's got like, I don't know, 12 albums with the Tea Party, and then every Prince of Persia game, and Darkest Dungeons. But yeah, I knew Godsmack wasn't the one who did all of it, but I'm kind of surprised I remembered Einon Zur, given that he only did 6 tracks out of 32. Because I know Einon more for Dragon Age. Man, the Dragon Age Origins album or soundtrack is so good. Alright, so yeah, this song was just, is heavy. It feels very 2000s to me. There's not a lot of complexity to the guitar work or the drum work. It's just super angsty, although we do move between more of a rhythmic angstiness and a melodic angstiness that we hear in the chorus. The lyrics are about adoption. If the Genius annotation is correct, the vocalist was put up for adoption, and this is his feelings about that. He says, "Man, what was that one line I saw that was really good?" Oh, I'll never forget the life you disdain. So to the parents that bore me this pain. Says, don't try to reach out, don't try to call. The boy that you created is dead for all that you know. I mean, it's got impact. It's blunt, but it has impact. And the requester had mentioned, who was this? Oh, Solinari. You don't hear many songs on this topic. I think this is only the second for me. From First to Last has one as well. Since the vocalist Sonny, who is Skrillex, most people probably know him for that, was put up for adoption early in his life too. And that chorus, I feel very viscerally. He says, "Breed me just to give me away," and like that line has impact. It's, I don't know. I put it on a lot of this the same level as this, where it's just very visceral and on surface level, but has a ton of impact. But yeah, I think the song works really well, and it's a style of music that works well for me. I don't know, 2000s hard rock, new metal kind of stuff. I got a lot of nostalgia for that. All right. Next up, I don't know how to pronounce this. Maybe Österreich? Might be off on that though. This one comes from Wilbur. No context at all. The track is Munou. And this is the theme song for Tokyo Ghoul. I can't say I was expecting that from the artist or the title, but that's what we have here. And it's an official music video for this. So let's dive into it. See what's going on. I usually have Google read me translations for the regular reactions, but maybe I should just have it in the back of my pocket for this. Kind of bonkers how this works together. Alright, so starting to make a bit more sense to me. That opening was quite chaotic though. Yeah, like an improv jam. There's a lot of interesting choices here. Especially given it's an opening theme song. Random distorted guitar. Interesting choice for the distorted guitar to give the pulse instead of a cymbal. Yeah, it's got polymeter everywhere. And so we end up with a lot of lines that feel disjointed, usually between the keyboard and the drums. The vocals, I feel like the vocals are the 4/4. They're the thing that makes perfect sense. And if you just listen to the vocals, I don't think there's too much complexity going on. But the minute you listen to any of the instrumentation, it is all over the place. There's half a bar of noise early in the song, but it never came back. The song's clearly trying to be discordant. Yeah, you know, it is intentionally going for chaos. It's going for sound at as a primary component, and it's interesting to me primarily because of what it is. Like, if this was given to me in any other context, I don't think it would be as surprising. You just don't ever hear theme music as challenging as this. And, you know, it's not as challenging as it could be, but it's certainly more challenging than I would expect. And so that's really, it was written to be an opening. Maybe it lines up with something, and it's, oh, if it was written to be an opening. And see, that's the other concept too. You know, was it made for the anime? or was it picked to be used for the anime, which I think is even more interesting because somebody heard it and said that perfectly represents the feeling or the vibe that I want my show to have, right? Or this adaptation of the manga or whatever. But yeah, the opening, what Pliny was saying is there's a noisy opening to it, and it never came back. And it's almost like they felt it was too chaotic, but left it in because it was written. Having watched Tokyo Ghoul, I don't see how this connects to the anime. Well, see, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. As a standalone track, though, attempting to divorce it from the context I know, I think it's a fine song. It has a nice avant-garde jazzy element to it, and there's some really fun counterpoint and polymetric ideas. It's tough to follow on a first time, but I'm sure it makes more sense on subsequent listens. And the vocals help round it out in a way that allow it to make some semblance of sense before you fully understand what the song is doing as a whole, and I enjoy that. Tokyo Ghoul's first intro was by Ling Tosire Segure, which is mathy proggy J-rock, so this sound fits a bit more in that sense. I might not be the best person to ask to connect stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting choice there. But I do enjoy the production of it and the spaciousness of everything. There's a nice. Oh, one thing. I'm gonna interrupt myself. The use of a of a distorted electric guitar to provide a pulse against the song instead of what most rock and metal uses is a cymbal was an interesting choice. It was just a single chord played over and over in the most rigid rhythmic idea we had heard in the entirety of the song. Yeah, that was just wild. I would never have expected that if I was given 100 guesses to guess what was coming up next. That was just wow. All right, next up, we got some Gregory Alan Isakov. This one comes out as from Michael. Let's get some Americana folk on here. So, oh, this is a quiet one. Let's dig in.
Where were you when I was still kind? Just a water tread.
I like that line. Where were you when I was still kind?
And on the line. Just a drudge and drinker, master and a hound. Turned a circus swinger.
A ton of beautiful reverb on the vocals. It's really filling the sound out.
Can you shake it up just once for me? Your little globe, just so we can see the snow blowing round your hands. I'm the wing not turned, the song that we both know. on us, fly around.
Interesting rhythm here. It's 3-1-2-2. It's a really nice subdivision of a 4/4 bar. That repetition from the 1 to the 2. I love it. It's like trying to get started, never getting back up to that 3. Oh, it's over. Feels like it just started. I didn't hear any wind, but I was also paying more attention to the guitar and vocals, so there might have been some there. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I mean, it's folk. We have a single guitar line and a vocal melody, and there's only 2 melodies here, really. Pretty typical for folk, simplicity on the musical side, really focusing on the words and the emotion of the voice. Conveniently stopped when I sent that message. Oh, so there's not a lot to dig into here, but I like the, I like the vibe. It's chill, but there's a darkness to it, almost a melancholy. And I think his voice works very well for this. I like the production on it, the little bit of extra reverb that helps fill the sound sphere out. And once again, I'm really big fan of that rhythm. The way that they break up the 4/4. 3-1-2-2. Because we've talked a lot about breaking up to 4/4. 3-3-2 is a common one. But 3-1-2-2 is neat. Yeah, that's just, it's so well executed. I think that's what really helps it stand out a bit. Alright, this next one we got comes from Gary. I'm not going to try to pronounce that one because I'm pretty sure it's Italian, and my Italian reading is pretty bad. So it's there though. I mean, you can just read it, search it, have Google tell you what it sounds like later on. I don't know, whatever you want to do. And dive into this one, see what's going on. Oh, this is an older track then. Oh, that's fun. Although, now that I think about it, 50 years ago isn't that far. Was that 70s? 60s maybe, top? Depends on how far over 50. But yeah, I mean, this fits in with a lot of the prog rock that I would expect of the era. 72, okay. Love the bass. Interesting choice with the violin. Wow. Going to pure silence for this transition. I can honestly say I was not expecting a flute. Marching snare, maybe a fife instead of a flute. It's interesting to listen to that panning right there. It has a very different feel to it than modern panning. I don't know how they accomplished it, but it adds a color, almost a little bit of, it might have just been some clipping there on a couple of the guitar notes. I don't know. It sounds like going down a drain. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. My style of prog. Not mine. I appreciate a lot of the composition here. I appreciate the variety. It really showcases their strengths in a lot of different styles of composition. Um, but it's like channel surfing. I can't quite get a grasp on what any of it's doing, and by the time I start to, figure out what they're aiming for, they've shifted off to something totally different. Something that's always cozy about late 60s, early 70s drum recording sound. Yeah, okay, so this might come off a little negative, but trust me, I think I think what that leans into, at least for me, there is a warmth in that they're EQ'd a little heavier on the lower end, while also feeling a bit muddy. And that's not to say that they're not crisp or clean. There's just they're not as segmented. There's bleed over in the echo, the trail off on each of the hits that they couldn't digitally remove at the time. And to me, it has a bit of that warmth to it that I think could be felt as cozy to some people. It takes multiple listens for sure. Anything that's going to be a bit more complex like this is going to require a few listens to get into, or I should say to understand at least. But I also just don't think it's my cup of tea. I probably could come to a better understanding of it after a few listens, but I'll be completely honest, I don't want to. One was enough for me on that. It's the kind where you either need to be deep into the kind of song for multiple, or the song for multiple listens. Yep. But yeah, like I said, it's a really nice showcase of their styles and all the different types of music that they can write within and play within. It also showcased a wide variety of instrumentation that they must have been playing. It's not like they had virtual instruments at the time, so You know, I can certainly appreciate it from that perspective, but as a unified song, I find it a bit too disjointed for my tastes, but it's very well done for what they're aiming for, and I think they succeed um, at their task, what they were trying to write. Next up, we got one from 2112, a groovy pick for July. The track is called Fewjar. The song is called Gamma. From chaos rises beauty once accustomed. Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know that it's always true, but it certainly can be true. And I think it is true of a lot of more experimental sounds. It's time to groove. All right. Let's fix that real quick. Let's dive into it. Ooh, I like that little switch up. Ooh, that is some heavy synth work. Oh yeah, give me them funky vocal rhythms. Like, yeah, synth. I was gonna say it's very synthy, like synthwave funk. This is catchy. Okay, that's an actual genre then. I was just mixing some genre names. Oh man. I was expecting the Your Name and he just didn't say it. Oh no, we might get blocked. Flip that back. Yeah, this gets pulled off. I gotta figure out. I gotta listen to more of this band. Anyone else grooving with this? Like physically? Like I can't stop moving. Always. Foot's good. You know, that's enough. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of an impact after that bridge. But otherwise, I don't think I have any criticism for this. Five years ago. Oh, they did a motion picture soundtrack? I put out an album a couple years back. Yeah, that was good. I don't think I have anything negative to say about it. I just, I wish that moving back into that final chorus was a bit more eventful. But Eric, welcome. Glad to have you. I am doing pretty good. Much better now that the stream is going off without a hitch. I figured there were going to be some issues, and so far, it's been good. We didn't even get blocked, and I thought we were going to twice now, so. Yeah, that was just so good. It's got that funky groove I like with a synthwave texture to it. And it's got nice spacey vibes. The rhythms are infectious, and the vocal hooks are catchy. There's just nothing bad to say about it. I mean, if I really wanted to be spiteful, I might say it plays it a bit safe, but I mean, honestly, it's so good at what it does. I don't even know if that's a real criticism. That can be deflected so easily. Hopefully, it won't get jinxed. 3 songs to go, all 3 get blocked, huh? That would be my luck. Man. Yeah, I pulled that off to the side. I'm going to have to check out either that album, which is the 2018 one, or their 2021 one. Like I said, though, they did do a soundtrack, which I thought was pretty cool. A film soundtrack. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Trying to figure out... Oh, pretty album art, though. Trying to figure out what country this would have come from. Anyways, let's push forward. Next one we're going to check out is some Abstract Void. This one comes from Reaper. Let's see what your opinions are on this one. I think I missed some of the context. Maybe I didn't copy it all. But we've done Abstract Void before, and I think I was a fairly positive reception for it. Oh, see, I'm looking at the album cover, and I'm like, this is definitely synthwave vibes. But Abstract Void to me, for some reason, says prog metal. So, I don't know, synthy prog metal? Maybe we're just going to get a lot of synthwave. I don't know. Let's dive into it. How about we let them tell me what they're doing instead of me sitting here and guessing. Synthwave black metal? That would not have been my first guess. Oh, cool. I kind of want to hear what that hypothetical genre might be. Touché, Damien. I remember this. Yeah, I remember this. Still kind of wild how well those black metal vocals actually work with the electronic. The only thing I would want is a melodic hook, something to pull me forward. A lot of it is atmosphere. We have a little bit of melody with the piano, but it's pushed so far in the mix. Oh, there we go. That's nice. I wasn't expecting the drums to get any more black metal-y, but yeah, this actually works as a climax more than I would expect, even already knowing the genres they're mashing up. I mean, I think I agree with Pear that it does what it does well. I don't have any complaints against, what their goals are. I think they're achieving them. It just isn't something I would normally listen to, and it's missing that that thing that would really pull me in. And honestly, man, do I want to say this? Usually when it comes to black metal, I just accept that the harsh vocals are what goes with the genre. Honestly, I think most black metal tracks we listen to, I can't really imagine any other type of vocals going with them anyways, but at least for here, I like the black metal influence on the composition. Especially there at the end, you could tell there's a lot of metal influence in the rhythmic ideas going on. But I really wish there was some clean vocals or some overarching melodic idea at the end of the track. Something's really punctuated. And I almost want to say that I'd prefer clean vocals over this instead of the growls, even though I think the growls work fine. They're just not my cup of tea. I think I could really get into this as a metal electronic mashup with some clean vocals in it. But as it stands, it's an interesting combination that works well. Just isn't something that grabs my attention too strongly. But, like I always say, it's not about me. I'm just some dude on the internet. They obviously have a goal in mind. They have an audience, and I think they're doing exceptionally well with their own unique take on things. All right, penultimately, we have one from Cult of Lilith. This one comes from Jason. Says, if you liked the artist last time, but it's been a while. Yeah, I don't recognize the name of the band at all, so this is kind of going to be brand new for me, I suppose. Let's see what they're doing with Cosmic Maelstrom. Ooh, nice intro. I can agree with that pair. It would have been very vanilla. It wouldn't have been as strong of a mix of genres if it didn't have the growling. It's interesting to hear the same progression that we had on the harpsichord at the beginning, but it's completely missing now. There's a lot of vocal variety. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that raised pitch. Is the harp still there? I can't tell, but I don't think so. Yeah, it was just really interesting for them to bring it back for that 2 bars or whatever. I love those bouncing harshes. Ooh, disguising that tempo shift under the growl. I'm kind of curious if you said anything there or if that was just scatting. How long is this? Oh, it's almost over. He's barking. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it has influences from all over the death genre. I think we can agree on that. There's some stuff that feels traditional. There's some stuff that feels inspired, a bit technical, and then there's a bit that's a bit corey, I suppose. It is not my cup of tea, though. There are moments in it that I like, and I think that as far as ideas go, I enjoy listening to their ideas, right? Having the chorus start off with a mid harsh into a belted compressed into that low growl, that bouncing vocal work that I talked about, I think that's very cool. I like the way that they play around with space on the guitars, where one guitar, usually the left, is going to be the foundation, and they're constantly chugging away at eighth notes or 16th notes or whatever. And then the other guitar emphasizes specific beats. They emphasize specific notes. So they'll only play the non-pedal note stuff. And so you get this full sound every once in a while, but most of it ends up feeling a bit lopsided. And so it's this push and pull, this tug of war going on with the guitar work that I think works really well here. The song ends up feeling more energetic because the vocals are always bouncing around, because the guitar work is bouncing around. The drums are just constantly engaging. Um, and there's a lot of fluctuation in rhythmic ideas too. It's not just constant 16th notes or constant eighth notes. They create a lot of fluctuation in their rhythmic devices and have a really nice syncopation going throughout most of the track. It's just, I know some of y'all felt that there's some really nice sections in here that elevated beyond traditional death metal, but to me, it all felt kind of samey throughout and very overwhelming and death metal-y, which I don't. It's a genre that I think I have the most affinity for as far as harsh, more extreme metals go, but it's still one that it's very pick and choose for me. And this feels like a lot of the elements that I dislike in the genre, or I should say are a bit too much for me in the genre. But they do what they do well. Full on forward aggression, never really taking a break, and changing it up often enough. In a 5.5 minute song, there was some 20 riffs in there, lots of different vocal techniques. It's full of variety. And as we even saw with some of the whiplash in the comments, if you like something now, you might not like something that's in the next section, but just wait 30 seconds and you'll have a new section you might enjoy a bit more. So they definitely have variety up their sleeve, which I think is impressive for a style of music like death metal that is, at least to my ears, a bit more on the limited side as to what you can do, that they can still find so many unique concepts within the genre to work within. And that's just one track. They got whole albums, I suppose, of similar writing. Alrighty. Next up, we have our final track. This one comes at us from PL Jogging. Just discovered this band, and I think it's tech mellow death. That's Brian Friendly. That's interesting, because what we just checked out was tech and mellow, correct? It had melodic elements to it, had technical elements to it. So after this entire journey today of very little metal, yeah, there really hasn't been a lot of metal today. We're going to finish off with 2 tech death tracks. Oh man, who could have guessed that? All right, let's wrap this up a little earlier than I expected to. Been more of a, it's been very jazzy. It's been a lot of avant-garde experimentalism too. We had a couple of hip-hop adjacent stuff. I mean, very laid back. Rate Your Music calls it noise sludge. Okay. The noise bit I might not enjoy as much, but sludge is something. This stream became almost an unblackened stream. Almost. So very close. All right, let's dive into this. Part Chimp's Super Moody. got kind of a grunginess going on too. I'm kind of digging it, but I need to see where it goes. I suppose we'll find out if this goes anywhere. I do like that heavy reverb. Phaser, I think, is the effect on the vocals. You'd think that pairing the vocal melody with the guitar melody for most of this song so far would make it sound a bit anemic, but it kind of works despite the lack of complexity going on. It really ties into that isolation. Wakey, wakey! Really kicked in that distortion, the overdrive. Check out more of this. You know, the doom kind of works too because the timing isn't super consistent throughout the track either. I do wish there was just a little bit more meat on the track though. Here I was expecting another loud section, bracing for the impact of the new volume level. And that's the wrong one. That's what I want. And we ended up getting nothing. That was the end of the song. Huh. Yeah, I like the vibe. I think they do a great job with the atmosphere on it. I'd even say the payoff is worth the build-up. I just wish there was a little bit more meat. 5 minutes of one riff, and that one riff is mimicked in the vocals as well. It's just... Well, I mean, It's a bit one note, kind of literally and more figuratively. Yeah, the instrumental choice, the timbre choice, the harmonies, I really like everything they're going for in a specific moment. It's just that that moment doesn't really change. We get a timbre shift halfway through when we bring in the distorted guitars, but the music doesn't change. And that's really my only criticism on it. I think they do a fantastic job crafting that atmosphere. I think they do a fantastic job sitting within this feeling and exploring it. I just wish there was a little bit more to the exploration. Minimalism, yeah, 100%. Payout wasn't fully worth it. I wish there was a little more build up to it. And I think, it's different expectations, right? They certainly went for heavy juxtaposition. I would have liked the growth into it. Give me more layers to move into that big moment. But again, that comes with me wanting more out of the track than they were certainly willing to give. Have I heard anything from a band called... Yeah, actually. We just checked out something. They were on one of the live streams recently. If it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks prior before that. But I couldn't tell you anything about them. It's a band that I think we've had on the channel like 5 times, plus the live stream that we had recently. And I think this came up last time too. We're like, Brian, you've listened to them so many times. I'm like, they just don't leave an impression on me. I don't even remember what kind of music they make. I bet you have to listen to the whole album to see what it's all about. And see, that's possible too. This track might make more sense in context of what comes around it. Maybe not all of the music is like this, though they are described as this sludgy doom. So maybe maybe the rest of the album sounds exactly like that. That surprises me. Yeah, I mean, some bands just make that imprint and some don't. And honestly, I can't tell you why, what it is that that has them leaving the impression. Just some bands. And the thing is, too, I think every time, what are they, Trollhagen has come on, I'm like, man, this is pretty good stuff. And then I never retain it, though. Fiona Apple is the death metal goddess. I don't know what that means. But, I enjoy Fiona Apple. I would never put her with death metal. But I think that'd be interesting. I would certainly listen to Fiona Metal. Fiona Apple singing over black metal, death metal. Black metal seems more fun though. Fiona Apple's vocals over black metal. I gotta try that. I gotta find some stems. Gonna go back and check those out because to me it's like Diablo Swing Orchestra, very unique and nothing like really like nothing like it. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. And see, I think Diablo Swing Orchestra even came up in the recent live stream with them too. And DSO is a band that I do have stored in my mind as avant-garde metal. So yeah, we've had Trollhagen a lot. Let me see. I don't think this is fully up to date, but oh, we have had them 0 times on the channel. Oh, we've had them twice on live streams. So yeah, not that many. But I've listened to I Ordered a Taxi Driver, Not a Taxidermy. That was a fun track. And Lefty's Wild Ride. See, that name, I have stuff tied to that because that was a wild ride. But yeah, there's just something about that name. Maybe it's the name, not the music. You're not mixing them with Fin. I'm definitely not mixing them with Fintroll because Fintroll was just death metal with trollish themes, and I remember they had like troll outfits and ears on. Enjoyed the Beyonce reaction. Awesome. I don't know if I'll check out more from her on the channel, but definitely more pop in the future, though. That is something I am looking forward to adding more of. Songwriter from Dismember made a band with screams from mothers giving birth as vocals. Um, you know, from an artistic perspective, awesome. You know, if everybody consented with this, go for it. I'm not thinking I want to listen to that though. I'm a bit behind with that part. Chimp tech mellow death description isn't what I wrote at all. Did I get that mixed up then? It is quite possible that I mixed some comments up. I did. Or maybe it didn't update. One of the two. Anyways, yeah. So Cult of Lilith was supposed to be the tech death comment. And part Chimp's comment was supposed to be it's super moody. That was my fault. Not really sure what happened there. Alright, so that's going to wrap this one up. I'm honestly surprised we got done as quickly as we did, even with a couple of small ramblings going on here. But most of this was under 5 minutes long, which really helps keep the time down a bit. I did jinx myself by saying the stream was going smoothly. There had to be a blunder somewhere. Yep. But you know what? Like I mentioned, there's a lot of really rushed copy pasting that I did in order to get this rolling because of last minute complications. So, and no demon. Yeah, what is up with that? I didn't even go check on her for food. Although I did give her some food right before the stream started, so I think that's what happened. She had a late breakfast, early lunch. So she didn't come get me at noon like usual. You're a good Duke. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be dude, but I'll take Duke. Keep up the good work. Thanks. Where's the demon? I'm falling behind on my rambling. All right, you guys have Duke. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I look forward to doing more of these. Like I said, the live streams are always going to be public now. And there will be more public live streams aside from our... Oh, also, this is going to get renamed, by the way, rebranded. Casual live streams. It's not Patreon exclusive anymore. I'm going to do my thing where I hyper-focus on a single... what is it? Why can't I think of it? It's when you take the first letter of each word and make a acronym. That's what I want. CR. I don't know why I'm fixated on this, but casual reactions. And this will be a casual reaction live stream moving forward. So that's nice. Yeah, alliteration was what I was thinking of first too. So it's like, no, that's not it. But yeah, we'll have some more stuff aside from the Sunday things going forward, but that'll be like a month in the future. But get stoked for that, I suppose. All right, y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Get hyped for tomorrow. We're returning back to reactions, and we're kicking it off with Tesseract's new one, which I know has been highly requested. So I'll be digging into that. All right, I'll check you guys later. And always be critical, not cynical. I don't know. See ya.